Well, it's a very good question, and it's no accident, of course, that, as you'll know, that China and Japan and India and Singapore have all just recently applied and been admitted to the Arctic Council. Now, that's not just because of the Northern Sea route, but I think it's a very important factor in their interests. I'm a particular expert on Asia, and the Asian countries, particularly Northeast Asia, and obviously mainly China, see this as having enormous potential in terms of access to the European market. The other thing we shouldn't forget is the potential effect it will have on Russia and the opening up of eastern Siberia. And it won't possibly just be vessels going all the way on the northern route, but vessels able to get down the great Siberian rivers, the Lena, the Yenisei, and so on. So it could have a really profound impact on the economy of Siberia as well. I think that's really critical. Well, if I knew the answer to that, it wouldn't be a black swan, right? So by definition, you can't know. So I think the better answer to your question is, in a sense, what do we do, or how do we organize ourselves that they're not so black, if you like, so we can, or at least we're prepared to recognize them. And that's, in a sense, what technology assessment, what we're talking about here in the parliamentary context, is all about. We've got to have systems and we've got to have perspectives that enable us to accommodate the surprise when the swan actually appears. So it's not as big a surprise or as confusing a surprise as it would be if we hadn't prepared for it. But we can't know what the swan will be, as I say, because it wouldn't be a black swan if we did. Well, it's a follow-on from that previous question. Policies, particularly when we're talking about I'm an expert in this area, not a politician, not like Miko. And my life has been devoted to providing advice to the politicians, who are the ones who make the decisions. And our responsibility, I think, is to ensure that they have the sufficiently wide and sufficiently constructed body of information to make the best choices or good choices for the benefit of their constituents and the population as a whole. That's the responsibility in technology assessment. I think that we're entering a world, or already in a world, where we are going to be universally dependent on technology. Now, some people don't like that. I can understand why. They might say, I mean, look out here. Look out here. You could not, by and large, unless you were a few hunters or trappers, live in this part of Finland, or indeed any part of the Arctic, unless you relied critically on modern technologies, right? And I think that's going to be true generally. We are going to become more and more technologically dependent. And we might even get to the point where we have to do what I call planetary management. In other words, we take the world as a whole and we manage it with technology in every aspect of our lives. As I say, some people don't like that. They think, oh, we must have parts of the world or systems which are free of technology, independent, just go our own way as nature designed them for millions, billions of years. Humanity has gone beyond that. There's too many of us. Well, there's so many of us, let's say, and we're living in all parts of the world, and we've got to be dependent on technology in order to continue that.